Hi, my name is Riley Allen. This is my review of Season 1, Episode 5 of Stranger Things, titled Chapter 5, The Flea and the Acrobat. So there's like 4 or 5 different plot lines in the episode. There's the kid plot line, the teenagers plot line, Joyce's, and Hopper. I'm a dumbass. I can't count past 4, apparently. I think I did say 4 or 5. Anyway, it's 4. So Hopper breaks into Hawkins, finds the gate to the Upside Down, immediately gets drugged, and wakes up in his home, and he is suitably paranoid. Yeah. He eventually, we'll get to the rest of his storyline, because he wasn't a big part of this episode. Joyce, Lonnie's back. He's now being real supportive to his ex-wife and trying to be supportive to his son. And he's there for his now dead son. Yeah, he's no, he's only there for the money. Lonnie's only there for the money, and he's making Joyce seem even crazier. It's just, yeah. Lonnie is probably one of the most despicable villains, simply because he's a real dude. There's too many Lonnies that actually exist. Yeah, fuck that dude. Joyce immediately kicks the fucker out, though, so that's good on her. And the episode ends with Joyce and Hopper reuniting, and Hopper revealing that she was right all along. So the teenager plotline. The teenager plotline is Nancy and Jonathan are going to hunt the Demogorgon. You know, the thing that took Barb. Also, it should be noted that 2 hunters disappeared at the same place that Will did. And the chief knows about it. So he's putting dots together. I don't know if he's putting the right dots together just yet, but he's putting them together. So, Jonathan and Nancy start investigating the woods, and they have a little shootout. And again, Lonnie's a piece of shit. He took his, 9 or 10-year-old son out hunting and forced him to kill a rabbit. No, you shouldn't force anyone to hunt if they don't want to. That's just, no. Hunting's fine if you enjoy it. Just, no. That's awful. They eventually come upon a deer. They have quite a few arguments, kind of working through their differences and shit. Also, Steve was kind of barely in this. He's not a main character, though, so obviously not. He was only there to get turned down by Nancy so she could go on the hunting date with Jonathan. They find a deer, and right as Jonathan or Nancy's gonna put it out of its misery, the Demogorgon comes and takes it. It leads Nancy back to the Upside Down gate, a secondary gate. And she goes in, and the episode ends on that. Jonathan frantically calling Nancy. She eventually does not come out of the Upside Down this episode. They leave it on a cliffhanger. Also, I don't know if it's because Charlie Heaton is English and this might be one of the first few times he's using an English or an American accent. But I don't know, his emotions in that scene didn't really convey that well. I don't know, maybe it was just me. He didn't really seem frantic enough. I don't know. Maybe it's because he didn't really think Nancy was quite... I don't know. So the kids' plotline. They know Will's alive. From Elle. At the funeral for Will, 11 reveals the Upside Down. And Mike, being the Elle speaker he is, figures out what she's trying to say with her saying very little. Her flipping the board basically makes Mike think that it's the Upside Down, Shadow Realm. I also love that they're putting all these D&D names to these things, because that's what works for them. The Demogorgon is from Dungeons and Dragons. They gave it because it works, and it helps them, figure it out. So, at the funeral, Mr. Clark basically explains, parallel universes. He explains there's a tightrope. On the top of the tightrope is an Acrobat, them. Then there's the Flea. It can travel between above and below the tightrope or something like that. He said, to open it, he wrote it on a plate and flipped it over and then stabbed a hole in it and said that would be the gate. It's unlikely that it would, he said it's likely you would know about it because, it would destabilize everything, gravity shit, which is just theoretics on his part, obviously. As the gate is open and gravity is seemingly fine, there is problems, just not with gravity. So, Dustin realizes there's something up with the compasses, so they decide to follow him. Because the magnetic field is up. Which, not gravity, but the magnetic field is wonky. Elle is having her traumatic flashbacks, and she wants to leave. She doesn't want to find the Demogorgon, obviously. Or the gate, obviously. So she ends up leading them in the wrong directions. And she's caught. And Lucas has a somewhat reasonable crash out. He wants to find his friend, and there's this chick who's not helping that. And he's kind of cruel with his words, he says, what if she's the monster all along? Which is just like, kinda, in a roundabout way, he's kinda right. She was the one who opened the gate, I believe. So, he's kinda right. He's absolutely wrong, but, he is somehow indirectly right. It's kind of one of those things. He's absolutely wrong, but he's also indirectly right. And he's only indirectly right because Hawkins' lab is pieces of shit and forced Elle to do all this shit. Anyways, Mike starts defending her and they get into a fight, and 11, uses her power to get Lucas to stop, sending him flying, slamming into a wall. And I'm pretty sure the way she was acting, if it was Mike on top, he'd also been sent flying. I don't think it was because it was Lucas on Mike. If it was just that they were fighting and she didn't want them to fight. If it was Mike on top of Lucas, he'd have been sent flying the same way. It's just, unfortunately, it was Lucas. And to Mike's credit, he immediately went to go check on Lucas. Immediately. And then he was screaming out, Elle, what'd you do? Why'd you do that, And then, again, Lucas reasonably, slapped Mike's hand away and walked off, which is... Lucas is an asshole. Maybe sometimes overly so, but also someone's gotta be an asshole. Yeah. Mike realizes that Elle has gone missing. And so he and Dustin frantically call after her. I loved this episode. I don't know the fan consensus on this episode, but I think this was wonderful. Other than maybe Jonathan not sounding really frantic enough at the thought that Nancy is missing and might be dead at the end there. Yeah, I loved it. I love the conversations and arguments between Jonathan and Nancy. I love Hopper basically embodying, it's not paranoia if they're actually out to get you. Joyce standing her ground and kicking Lonnie out. I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10. I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. I don't know the fan consensus on this episode, but I enjoyed it, really. 10 out of 10. Thanks for watching the video. Leave a like, comment, subscribe if you want, and I'll see you in the next video.